You're not going to believe what just happened. Rhea Ripley, the most dominant force in women's wrestling, was just stretchered out of a WWE event in Japan, and the entire wrestling world has gone silent. Before we dive into this absolute chaos, please subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss another incredible moment like this. Because what I'm about to tell you is going to change everything you thought you knew about WWE's current landscape. Let me set the scene for you. Tokyo, Japan. The atmosphere is electric, the crowd is deafening, and WWE is putting on one of their trademark international spectacles that reminds everyone why they're the biggest wrestling company on the planet. Rhea Ripley walks into that ring with the same confidence she always does, that same intimidating presence that makes grown men second-guess their life choices. She's not just a wrestler, she's a phenomenon. She's revolutionized what it means to be a female superstar in this industry, breaking down barriers and destroying anyone foolish enough to step into her path. But something goes wrong. Terribly, catastrophically wrong. The kind of wrong that makes your stomach drop and your heart stop. One moment, Rhea is executing a move with the precision we've come to expect from her. The next moment, everything changes. The crowd's cheers turn to gasps. The energy shifts from excitement to genuine concern. You can feel it through the screen, that collective holding of breath that happens when something real breaks through the scripted entertainment we all signed up for. And here's where it gets even more intense. Io Sky, her opponent in the ring, immediately drops character. You can see it in her eyes, the transition from performer to human being, from competitor to someone genuinely terrified for another person's well-being. This is a woman who has shared countless matches with Rhea, who understands the bond that forms between wrestlers who trust each other with their physical safety night after night. And in that moment, all the kayfabe, all the storylines, all the predetermined outcomes mean absolutely nothing. What matters is that someone she respects, someone she's worked with, someone she cares about is hurt. But wait, there's more to this story that's going to absolutely blow your mind. Dominik Mysterio, Rhea's on-screen partner in crime, her Judgment Day stablemate, the man who has built his entire WWE persona around his relationship with the Eradicator, rushes to ringside. And folks, this is where you really see the line between performance and reality completely dissolve. Dominik isn't playing a character anymore. He's not Dirty Dom, he's not the heel who gets booed in every arena. He's a human being watching someone he cares about in genuine distress, and the tears streaming down his face are as real as it gets. Think about what this means for a second. Professional wrestling is built on the foundation of protecting the business, maintaining kayfabe, keeping the illusion alive. Wrestlers have historically been taught to never break character, to always maintain the separation between the show and reality. But when real injury strikes, when genuine danger enters the equation, all of that training goes out the window. What we witnessed in Japan wasn't a storyline. It wasn't a work to generate sympathy or set up a future angle. This was raw, unfiltered human emotion in response to a crisis situation. The medical team swarms the ring with an urgency that tells you everything you need to know. These are professionals who have seen it all, who have dealt with countless in-ring injuries, and even they're moving with a level of concern that sets off alarm bells. They're not taking their time. They're not going through standard protocols casually. Every movement is deliberate, focused, intense. The stretcher comes out, and if you've watched wrestling long enough, you know that's never a good sign. Wrestlers will fight through pain, they'll finish matches on torn muscles and broken bones, they'll do whatever it takes to walk out under their own power. When the stretcher comes out, it means something has gone seriously wrong. The Japanese crowd, known for their respect and understanding of wrestling's dangers, falls into an eerie quiet. These fans have seen legendary performers give everything in their rings. They've witnessed history being made in Japanese arenas for decades. But even they recognize that this moment transcends entertainment. You can hear individual voices in the crowd offering words of encouragement, the universal language of concern cutting through any barriers. Now let's talk about what this means for WWE's current landscape because the implications are absolutely massive. Rhea Ripley isn't just another wrestler on the roster. She's not someone who can be easily replaced or written off television for a few weeks without consequence. She's been the cornerstone of the women's division, a legitimate draw who brings eyes to the product. Her feud with whoever she's facing becomes automatically elevated because of her presence. She makes everyone around her better, and her absence creates a void that can't simply be filled by moving someone else into her spot. The Judgment Day faction, which has been one of WWE's most compelling storylines, suddenly faces an uncertain future. Rhea has been the emotional center of that group, the enforcer, the one who legitimizes their dominance. Without her, what happens to Dominik's character arc? What happens to the dynamics that have made Judgment Day one of the most over acts in the company? These aren't just storyline questions, these are legitimate concerns about how WWE navigates the next several weeks or possibly months of programming. And here's something that needs to be said that nobody wants to talk about. Professional wrestling is dangerous. We all know this intellectually, but moments like this force us to confront that reality head-on. These performers put their bodies through absolute hell for our entertainment. They work an insane schedule, performing multiple times per week, traveling constantly, dealing with accumulated damage that would sideline athletes in any other sport. We celebrate their toughness, their dedication, their willingness to perform hurt. But we also need to acknowledge the very real risks they take every single time they step through those ropes. Rhea Ripley has been working at an absolutely brutal pace. She's been defending championships, working house shows, making appearances, doing media, and maintaining the physical presence that has made her a star. The wear and tear on her body has been accumulating, and while we don't know the specifics of what happened in Tokyo, we do know that the human body has limits. Even the strongest, most well-conditioned athletes can reach a breaking point. This isn't about weakness, this isn't about not being tough enough. This is about the simple reality that wrestling takes a toll that most of us can't even comprehend. The outpouring of support from the wrestling community has been immediate and overwhelming. Wrestlers from WWE, from other promotions, from retired legends to current stars, have all been sending messages of support, because they understand in a way that fans never fully can. They've all been in that ring. They've all felt that moment of panic when something doesn't go right. They've all experienced that fear when the pain doesn't feel like the normal hurt of wrestling. They're a brotherhood and sisterhood bound by shared experience and shared risk, and when one of them goes down, they all feel it. Social media has exploded with speculation, with concern, with theories about what happened and what it means. But here's what we need to remember in moments like this. Beyond the storylines, beyond the championships, beyond the entertainment value, there's a real person named Demi Bennett who chose the name Rhea Ripley and dedicated her life to this business. She left her home in Australia to chase a dream. She worked her way up through the independent scene, through NXT, to become one of the biggest stars in the industry. She's inspired countless young women to believe they can be strong, intimidating, dominant forces in whatever they choose to pursue. And right now, she's in a hospital in Japan, and the only thing that matters is her health and recovery. The wrestling business has a complicated relationship with injury. There's an old-school mentality that celebrates working through pain, that looks down on taking time off, that measures toughness by your willingness to perform hurt. But that mentality has cost the industry too many careers, too many quality years, too many performers who push too hard for too long. We're hopefully entering an era where health and longevity are valued over short-term gains, where taking the necessary time to heal properly is seen as strength rather than weakness. Whatever happens next, whether Rhea is back in weeks or months, whether this is a minor setback or something more serious, one thing is certain. The moment captured in Japan, with Io Sky's concern and Dominik Mysterio's tears, reminded us why we love this business in the first place. It's not just about the matches or the storylines. It's about the genuine human connections formed between people who share this unique, dangerous, beautiful art form. It's about the respect competitors have for each other regardless of company affiliation or storyline direction. It's about the community that rallies around one of their own when crisis strikes. So as we wait for updates, as we hope for positive news, as we send our thoughts and support to Rhea Ripley, let's also take a moment to appreciate every single wrestler who steps into that ring. They're not invincible. They're not superhuman. They're talented, dedicated performers who accept extraordinary risk to give us extraordinary moments. And when those moments come at too high a cost, the least we can do is recognize the sacrifice and support the recovery. The Hardcore Highlights will continue covering this story as it develops, because this matters. This is real. And sometimes, reality hits harder than any scripted moment ever could.